right, so I guess I will call the meeting to order, and then I will just ask, I guess all right. Yep.
Is it 6 o'clock?
Yeah, it's 6 o'clock. So I'll call the meeting to order, and I guess just the four of you, if somebody would pick a chair, or and then we'll do a quick vote on it. Or Bob looks like he's appointing himself. All right, everybody
won the movie prize.
All right.
Let us stand and say the pledge of allegiance to the flag. Let us say the pledge to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. First order of business ahead of the roll call is the election of a chair.
I move that for a chair for this particular meeting would be Robert McConnell.
Second.
Is there any objection? You may object.
Really?
Hearing that, McConnell will serve as chair for tonight's meeting. Okay. Now move on to the roll call. Arkin, I hear Coscarella. I hear Hicks. McConnell is here. Corey
here.
Parr
Here.
And Wardina. Okay, Kaltenbach. As opposed to Wardina. Kaltenbach. Okay. We have a quorum. We need a motion to approve the agenda as it has been amended.
Support. I will.
I support it. Moved and supported. Is there any objection? Motion is carried. Now we have an opportunity for citizen comments for items that are not on the agenda. Hearing none. Correspondence. Do we have any correspondence?
We do not have any correspondence prior to the meeting.
Okay. The next item of business is approval of the amendments. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded to approve the minutes of the August 22nd, 2023 ZBA meeting. Is there any objection? The motion carries. We now move on to public hearings. We have public hearings for case number 23-06-21. At this hearing, the subject parks were located at 7810 Blue Lagoon Drive, Lansing, Michigan. 48917 will be considered for the following variance request. A variance from section 4-10C1 of the 2017 Delta Township zoning ordinance as amended, which requires a minimum 8-foot side yard setback for attached garages in the RB low density residential zoning district. The applicant wishes to create an expansion to the existing attached garage with a side yard setback of 3.5 feet. Staff, please comment.
All right. The applicant, Robert Baker, wishes to add a third stall to the attached, let me pull up the aerial here. Third stall to the garage, attached garage of his home at 7810 Blue Lagoon. So he provided a survey that shows that approximately, in the kind of the sketch I gave is a little misleading, but, approximately the first or the rear 4 feet of his expansion is going to be about 3.5 feet from the property line. And as you can kind of see, the edge of his garage is sort of doesn't match up perfectly with the diagonal lot line of his lot. So it actually widens out. So it's only the first 4 feet. So the rear 4 feet of his expansion is going to be 3.5 feet. And pretty quickly it expands out to where it's going to be 8 feet off the property line, which is what he's required. So he's only asking for the variance for the rear kind of 4 feet of his expansion. Let's see. And I think the kind of the argument would be that the lot kind of here is sort of higher up here and it drops off. So it's sort of when the house was built, it was pushed off to the one side for practical reasons. So it wasn't a kind of just a empty-headed kind of choice to throw it over there. There was kind of practical reasons for that, which, you know, a lot of places in the township do have two or three stall garages. So it's not a crazy ask. And then, you know, if his house had been able to be placed sort of over farther, you could have added it on without the variance, but it's kind of a rather small variance. Like I said, it's just the rear 4 feet. And basically just to allow him to have the third stall in his garage. And obviously that there wouldn't be like kind of another reasonable place to put that on his lot. So that would be the argument. I think the applicant is here to answer your questions, and I can as well. So.
Did you have other comments?
Nope, I'm good. Sorry. Yep.
Okay. Commissioners have any questions for staff? Okay, hearing none, this is a public hearing. So is the applicant here? Okay, would you like to speak to your request, please?
You want me to come up here?
Yes,
yep.
please.
And then
state your name and address for the record.
Good evening. Robert Baker, 7810 Blue Lagoon, Lansing, Michigan, 48917.
Okay, you want to speak to your request?
What I'm asking for is, like you said, basically the 3.5 feet will be back about mid-house is where the garage addition would stop. So roughly about the peak line in that general area. And there would only be probably 4 feet-ish, 4 to 6 feet maybe, before we're actually at the 8-foot variance. You can see it's kind of a pie shape there.
Right.
So not very much of the garage would even be over the 8 feet. The majority of the garage would be within the 8 feet. So it's just a small portion that I'm asking, you know, to get that variance on.
Okay, and you're.
Were you giving I'm sorry.
Yes.
Were you giving a copy of the variance?
I'm sorry?
Were you giving a copy of the things that you're supposed to answer to for the variant, to gain the variance?
I can pull them up here on the screen too.
Okay. You didn't get a copy of that?
No, he did. I sent him the packet. So, so you just basically have to satisfy one of these four so they're, and then all right. There we go. Yep. 5. Or sorry, one of those.
If you know, 5.
Yep, to be the 5.
All right, so I think
Mr. Power, you're asking if the applicant speak to one of those.
Yeah, I got this yesterday, and I'm sorry I left it on my desk at work. I didn't get a chance to look at this. I glanced through it. So I mean,
if the board is satisfied, I chatted with him, but I could probably give him like an explanation if that's helpful, or if not, we can have him read them. But
well, it definitely meets all 5 first requirements. of the first part, but then
Right.
the special requirements, which is the second section.
Yeah.
If you could point out which one you feel.
So I mean, the practical difficulty would be something generally in state law it's like inherent to the lot. So basically that would be the argument that his house is kind of on the west side of his property because of the topography. So that sort of, if his house had been placed on the other side or just the dead center, he'd be able to add it. So it was kind of the topography that caused that would be the argument for practical difficulty.
That's all.
I don't know that substantial justice probably applies because I mean, a third stall is probably not justice, but yeah.
Well, it's just, I think they needed it for the records.
Yeah,
You know,
yep.
I honestly know all of the
Yeah.
stuff, but I thought he meant number 3 in the special.
Yeah, yep. And in the number 3 and number 1 are kind of tied together intrinsically. Yep.
Can you read number 1 and number 3?
Number 1, that the variance request is due to a unique circumstance particular to the property and not the general neighborhood conditions.
And then number 3.
And number 3, that the need for the variance is not self-created.
Are you of the belief that those are the conditions that apply to this request?
Yes.
Okay. Commissioners have any questions of the applicant?
By the project, it's going to be a project. I mean, it's just your topography is, you're up much higher than, you know, that side of the road is much higher than what the other side is.
Yeah, it's kind of like this. Yes.
Yeah. So I understand, and I don't see any reason why we can't grant that.
A question. Did you talk to your neighbor about the?
Yes, matter of fact, he's here right now.
Oh, okay. Okay. Would you like to come forward and speak?
Is it all right?
Oh,
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Okay, just state your name and address for the record.
Stephen Van Ness, 7828 Blue Lagoon, Lansing, Michigan.
Okay.
I have no issue with it. I mean, if they needed more of my property, they've been great neighbors. I've been there 23 years and no issues whatsoever. So.
Okay, thank you. Would anyone else, this is a public hearing, would anyone else like to speak to this issue? Just 5s are okay to speak too.
Doing it right.
Okay. Okay. All right, you can sit down.
All right, thank you.
Our commissioners have no questions of you. We need a motion to close the public hearing.
So moved.
Second.
Any objection? Public hearing is closed. Is anybody prepared to make a motion?
I am. In case. Want me to go ahead?
Go ahead,
Okay.
Commissioner Park.
In case number 23-06-21, granting the variance of the located at 7810 Blue Lagoon Drive, variance from section 4.10 C-1 of the 2017 Delta Township zoning ordinance as amended, which requires a minimum of 8 feet in the side yard setback for attached garages and the RV low density residential zoning. The applicant wishes to create an expansion to their existing attached car garage. I feel that the applicant has met all 5 of the requirements and number 3 of the special requirements to grant this variance.
Is there a second to the motion?
Second.
Okay, this is a public hearing, so we have a roll call vote. Okay, we will go with Altenbach,
Yes.
Barr,
Yes.
McConnell is yes, and Corey.
Yes.
We have majority and we've met our quorum, and so the motion carries. Any instructions for the applicant?
So yeah, you're good. So yeah, if you just turn in your plans to the building department, I'll basically, yeah, you can pull your permit tomorrow if you're ready, but yeah, just, so yep, you're good to go. So yep, I'll send you, I'll email you an approval letter, but yep, you're good to go. Yep, no problem. Yep, take care, everybody.
Okay. Old business, we have none. And I didn't quite understand why we had election of officers on here.
Did I, oh,
Because that was what we did last meeting.
nope, sorry. All right. I thought something happens in our email system, or not email system, but our filing system where old stuff. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Sorry about that.
Staff comments.
Staff comments, basically, we will have a meeting, we'll have a final meeting of the year. Let me just double check the date. I think it's the 12th, but let me just double check for you real quick. Yeah, we'll have a meeting on the 12th, another kind of, not a crazy complicated one, just a person that had a legal non-conforming or grandfathered building burned down, so they need to get a variance to rebuild it. But so I guess it's been there for, I don't remember the address off the top of my head, but it's been there for like 30 years and then burned down. So I think it's probably pretty safe to say it's not an issue with the neighbors, but so that'll be December 12th. I'll send up a follow-up email just to remind everybody this week, but
Okay.
that'd be the only real staff announcement.
Why does he need it?
So the variance it was what is known as a legal non-conforming. So it doesn't meet our current standards. The building didn't, and it burned down. And in our ordinance, there's a stipulation that if more than 50% of the kind of estimated value of a like non-conforming building is destroyed, then they're not allowed to rebuild it without a variance. So that's why we have to have the variance for it. But I think it's probably a pretty simple one. The reason they want to rebuild it in the same spot is they already have the concrete pad there. Yeah, so it's just kind of a technicality more than anything, but yep. Not to prejudice the decision, but yeah, it's not.
Okay, board members have any comments?
Nope.
I'm just trying to think. I know there's something on my mind, but I can't remember what it is. I hate that senior moment.
No.
No, come up with it.
If none, the chair will entertain a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
Or I don't ask. Meeting is adjourned.
All right.
All right.
Thanks,
Get the gavel. Got a gavel.
There you go.
Yeah.
Next time you go watch an MSU.
And a powerful hand.
Well done.
All right.
Yeah.
Everybody.
Keep it simple.
Look at that.
Oh, yeah.
He's done.
It's nice we have a massive audience out
Yeah.
there with this issue, right?
You know. And it's nice also that the neighbor came and
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
I saw them in the parking lot and they said, I just need a sign of pay, and they sounded a little
Yeah.
angry.
Yeah.
And I just thought, uh-oh.
I mean, he probably just didn't read. I mean, it says right on the notice that he could have called or emailed me with the same effect. But I mean, I guess it probably is better in person. But
Yeah, I know. He just said, I'll just sign the damn paper.
yeah,
I didn't know.
I mean, yeah,
it
it's-
was, you know, if it's
Yeah.
it is kind of funny. Yeah, he's like really the only one directly affected. Yeah.
So
Yeah, because that was what I was wondering. It's like, well, what does the neighbor think?
Right.
right, exactly.
Yeah. So that was pretty helpful.
Yeah, can you call my husband?
All right.
Yep.
It's Thanksgiving. Thank you.
Yeah.
You take care.
Same to you.
And so early this year, my goodness, it's,
Yeah, next year's late.
Yep, this
Yeah.
year,
Okay.
they're going out to MSU, they're have dinner out there.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Wonderful. How did the university go?
Yeah. it's
oh,
university.
you,
Nice.
that would be nice.
Yeah, you, they do.
All right. Let's come in.
Yep.